How can leaders model care without looking soft? Let's be honest, a lot of leaders want to show empathy, they want to be human, they want to support their team, especially when someone's clearly struggling, but something holds them back. It's that quiet, career shaping voice that says, if you lean into care too much, people will stop taking you seriously. Don't get too soft, you'll lose authority. They will respect you less. That fear is real, especially if you were taught that leadership means always being in control, never cracking, never making it personal. But here's the truth. Modeling care doesn't weaken your leadership. It strengthens your influence. And if you don't believe that yet, stick with me. If we haven't met, I'm Dr. Anna Thomas. I'm a physician, leadership speaker, caregiver advocate, and corporate wellness specialist. I help organizations strengthen their workforce and create workplaces where people and performance can thrive together. Even as we enter an era of AI, automation, and agentic teams, the future of work is still human, and that work is changing dramatically. But at the same time, employees are navigating complex personal and professional pressures that are only going to escalate in the coming years. For example, in the next 5, 10, 15 years, we will see an exponential increase in the number of older adults who will need caregiving support. Who will be providing that care? Working adults. Right now, 63 million Americans are caregivers. That's 1 in 4 adults, with more than half of them currently working full-time. Those numbers are expected to increase and will have a tremendous impact on our communities and, yes, even our workplaces. And caregiving is just one example of a personal stressor that will impact the workplace. Mental health, chronic illness, stress, and burnout are all on the rise, and the organizations that will thrive are those that lead with care, culture, awareness, resources, and empowerment. Care. Through this series, I share practical strategies, leadership tools, and insights to help you create cultures that support well-being, strengthen engagement, and retain top talent. If you'd like a clear starting point, then check out my free training, The Future of Work is Care. The link is below. And while you're there, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with another leader who is ready to build a workplace that cares. Let's get into today's topic. I'm a physician, and I've seen how leadership shows up under pressure. In hospital teams, in crisis response, in conversations with professionals who are leading while caregiving or managing others who are. And I've seen also what happens when a leader tries to show care but hesitates. They're worried they'll lose credibility, afraid that they'll seem biased, unsure how to stay strong and empathetic. So today we're going to break it down. Why the fear of looking soft exists, what care actually looks like in leadership, how to lead with both compassion and clarity, and what kind of leader people actually want to follow. So let's be clear. It's not the polished one. It's the one who sees you, supports you, and still holds the bar. The fear of being too soft is rooted in how leadership used to be defined. Stay stoic, don't get personal, lead with control, not emotion. And for a long time, that model was rewarded. But that model also created high burnout, low trust, cultures where people suffered in silence. And now, especially since 2020, the expectations have changed. Employees don't want a leader who pretends that nothing is ever wrong. They want one who can acknowledge reality and still lead through it. You don't have to be everyone's therapist, but you do have to be human. And human leadership is not weakness, it is credibility. When we say model care, we're not talking about oversharing or over-accommodating or being everyone's emotional caretaker. We're talking about making it normal to name hard things, responding with empathy instead of silence, setting boundaries with compassion, leading with strength that includes honesty. Here's what that might look like in practice. I know many of us here are navigating caregiving or personal stress. That doesn't make you less valuable here. If something changes in your capacity, tell me early. We'll work through it, but I need transparency. Support doesn't mean lower standards. It means setting people up to meet them. And when leaders say these things and follow through with them, they model care and they preserve strength. Let's look at the other side. What happens when leaders avoid this? Here's what people start thinking. If I open up, I'll look weak. My manager doesn't want to hear this. I have to pretend I'm fine no matter what. And here's what that creates. Surface level compliance, hidden burnout, quiet exits. The leader may feel they're in control, but their team is running on fear, and eventually it breaks down. So when we talk about modeling care, we're not asking you to take on everyone's emotional load. We're asking you to show that care is allowed, reinforce that it won't be punished, and lead in a way that gives permission for honesty without lowering expectations. One of the most common myths I hear is this: if I'm too flexible, people will take advantage of me. Here's the truth: people cannot take advantage of structure. They can take advantage of vagueness. You can say, I understand that you're navigating caregiving. Here's what the policy on flexibility looks like and how we can keep track. You could say, we can adapt your schedule, but performance expectations remain the same. That's not soft, it is strategic. You're creating space without dropping the standards, and that's the kind of leadership that people remember and trust. Remember, one of the most powerful ways to create a culture of support is to model it first yourself. You don't need to share every detail of your personal life, but you could say, there was a time I was caregiving and I didn't feel like I could speak up. I don't want anyone else here to feel like they have to do that. Or, here's what support looked like for me when I needed it. And this is why I'm committed to offering it when others do as well. This kind of modeling does three things. It normalizes care as part of life. It builds psychological safety. And it sets the tone that strength and care go hand in hand. And you may not realize it yet, but your team is watching how you handle vulnerability. Not just theirs, yours. They're watching how you respond when someone shares something hard, whether you deflect or connect, whether you disappear under pressure or you stay present and steady. And when you lead with honesty and consistency and transparency, you earn more than just performance. You earn their trust. And trust isn't soft. It is a foundation of strong leadership. And if you're still worried that showing care might cost you respect, let me say this: the most respected leaders are the ones that people feel safe around. The most respected leaders are the ones that people feel safe around, not because they never make mistakes, but because they show up with integrity, empathy, and clarity. You don't have to change your whole leadership style. You just have to let a little care into the room, because when your team sees you doing that, they stop hiding, they start engaging, and they stay for the right reasons. That's what influence looks like in this new era. And if you want to lead with care and keep your authority intact, then check out my free training, The Future of Work is Care. It gives you the strategies, language, and structure. It's free and it's built for leaders like you. Tap the card or find the link below. And if you haven't checked out my book, Workplaces That Care, be sure to pick it up on Amazon. It is your playbook for building a resilient workplace that supports and retains your employees, whether they're dealing with caregiving or burnout or other personal life crises. Before we close, I want to say this directly to you, not as a coach, but as a peer. Leading with care is not a weakness, it is courage. It takes far more strength to create safety than demand silence. It takes more skill to hold space for someone else's reality than to just pretend everything's fine. And the leaders who are brave enough to care out loud, they're the ones people follow, through change, through pressure, through it all. And if you're that kind of leader, or you're trying to be, then I hope you'll keep going, because we need more of you. In the next video, we're going to answer a big question. How do I balance productivity and compassion when team members are caregivers? Because you don't have to choose between results and support. You just need the right strategy, the right mindset. While you're waiting for that video, check out Why Does Supporting People Build Loyalty More Than Perks Ever Could? And if you're afraid care will hurt performance, that video will show you what it feels like to fuel commitment. Remember, in this age of AI, the future of work is still human. So let's create workplaces that care together.